Hey guys, it's me Nate. Welcome back. As promised, today we're back in the FSX Harrier, Razband Harrier to be precise. Now we're going to go over quite a extensive video. The after corporate checks, the pre-start checks, the APU startups, and the engine startup. A quick chassis check, and then we're going to follow on with a vertical takeoff. We'll be using the face track to turn a lot of these buttons on, so I do apologize for anyone who gets a bit motion sick, and I will be moving my head a little bit off the screen every so often to view my checklist. If you are a bit motion sick, maybe you should stop the video. But for those who are very curious about how this thing actually starts and moves, bear with me, and we'll get working on it right away. Now, before we actually do any of this cockpit stuff, we actually need to set the aircraft up for VTOL, which we need to actually do here. If we go to instrument panel management, we need to take off all these fuel tanks because the plane is actually massively overloaded. We have fuel tanks on by default. And you also need to change the fuel load, the internal to VTOL. So that puts your total weight down to there, which is 18,000 pounds. And your max to total weight for VTOL is actually 20,000. So you've got about 1,500 pounds to play with. Granted, it's not much, but you know, put on cylinders, sidewinders, look a little bit dangerous. Alright, no, that may. Right, so now we're no fuel tanks and with sidewinders, we're actually ready to go. So let's go to the checklist. After entering cockpit checklist. Now I do apologize, the FXX for me doesn't start with the aircraft cold start. So some of these switches will be on, some of them will be on automatically, but we're going to try and do this as accurate as possible. So it'll be about 90-80% accurate. Right, so canopy is open. It says canopy open, but we'll just obviously it's closed. We'll just leave it as it is. Ejection seat is up to safe, which is not possible because it's locked into armed. Fuel shutoff valve off, which we'll leave on because we want to start the engine up, but that's the fuel shutoff valve there. H2O dump is off, which is over here. We leave it in fast starts off. We'll turn on the fuel pumps to normal, fuel prop to on. Then the throttle to the off position. It's off. GPTL switch on is on by default. Parking brake is on. You can see parking brake is on the bottom left. We'll just disable it. There we go. Parking brake's on. SAS set, which is the stability system. So pitch roll. Now it also needs to go switch on. Q fuel is on here. Landing light switch is off, but we'll just leave it on because we're just about to take off anyways. Anti-skid. There we go. Anti-skid. Landing battery emergency light check. Now, it says here no white. So what I figured out is actually there's a emergency battery switch here. If you click on this, it will pull it out and it will activate the emergency battery. Unfortunately, there's no way turning it off. So once you put it on, it's done. It's on forever until you can be exchanged with the ground crew, I suspect. Flat switch is auto and off. So flat switch is auto, and then on, and off. Oops. Sorry about that. Oh, auto and off, which is fine. And armament control panel is safe. Armaments are safe. The IR system is on off. Master arm is on off. There we are. All my guns are also on safe. The laser arm is off. We'll leave it as it is. Clock set. You can set the clocks. You just so wish for the timer. We won't bother with that. We don't have FLIR LST, so we'll skip that step. INS to off. The INS line system is here behind the joystick. QP and MC. I don't know what these are. I haven't figured it out yet. If I do work it out, I will let you guys know. And if I've done this video horribly wrong, I will probably just redo it. So if you guys spot any huge mistakes or any problems, let me know in the comments below. ECM control panel. We're not going to get shot over here in Adelaide, so we're just going to skim that. And IFF norm. This is the IFF panel here. We'll just skim that as well. VCS panel, which is the environmental control switches, are here. We'll do it for sake of formalities. So we want pressure to normal, and we want afterburner on, and we want defog to normal. Alright. And the lights are here. It says lights as required, so the floodlights here, instrument panel lights are here. They don't work because the aircraft's not started up yet, but that is everything after entering the cockpit. So let's get straight to the pre-start. So point battery switch to battery, which is already on by default. You can already hear it in the background. Warning lights reset test. Now I actually don't know where the warning light test switch is. I've been trying to find it. A bit of a struggle, so skip that for now. Brakes check. So let's take off parking brakes. Brakes all work. Landing gear full green. Yes, we haven't tipped over, so we're landing lights are on and the gears are definitely down. Throttle quadrant check. Now the throttle quadrant is this area here, so I guess it just means everything's in position. which is fine. Fuel panel check. Now here's the fuel panel, and you can see here these two are the outboard inboard wing tanks, which we have none. Obviously, we're not carrying any fuel tanks. You can see, so those will be 0, 0. Then we have the wing tanks, which is the fuel in the wings, which is not much if you compare to the internal fuel load, which is a lot more. And the feeder tank, the center tank, and the bit, which is the test. If you hit bit, these are the numbers that will show up. If you don't see these numbers, something wrong with the fuel gauge. So let's put it back onto the total. Canopy lights, canopy cushion lights, but you have none because it looks fine. Alright, so that's that checklist done. Now we do the APU startup. APU. If you want to start the APU, what you do is you flip the switch onto on, and that is that. This is probably one of the shortest checklists on board. I mean, there's 2 more stages, which is APU advisory light, which is on, which it is. There it is. APU generator light is off, which it is, and the canopy is closed. So there we go. That's the checklist done. Now we'll do the engine start. So canopy closed, yes. Now there's a checklist on item 2 in the starting engine. It's called DECS power check, which involves you turning your head around here. I do apologize for this. And toggling that switch on and off and checking the lights and doing it off again. We will not bother. The fuel handle is on. Fuel cutoff handle's on, which it is here. So down is on, up is off. If you want to cut off the fuel, you pull the handle off. Simple as. Alright, the only switch we want to work out here is 1. Now that's that done. Parking brake is on. Parking brake on here. You can see throttle's off position. Check throttle is in fact off position. Now we want the nozzles to 10 degrees. If you don't know what they are, the nozzles are these things. By default, they're 10 degrees to the vertical, so to the horizontal. So and it's right up against the wall there. So that's done. Engine start switch. So now we're ready to go. Engine start. Okay, the engines spool up. You can watch all these gauges turn on. The RPM, duct pressure, JPT. Once those go on, the screens will go on. Turn them on now.
Hydraulic.
Sorry about that. I'll come on one more time.
Hydraulic. Hydraulic.
Now, the preferred thing in the manual is to put the engine parameters on the display. And on the left one, I like to have the navigation, which is called EHSD, which is Electronic Horizontal Situational Display. That's on standby because we haven't got the INS set up yet. Now, after the engine start, we need to check throttle set to idle. Yep, definitely set to idle. We need to check the RPM percentage is between 30.4 and 32%, which it is. It's 31.6%. Right, JPT, check 547 degrees maximum. It is 548.5, so we're good. Now, this is the odd one. I haven't figured out why this is yet, but hydraulic pressure. These are where all the hydraulic gauges are. Hydro 1 and Hydro 2 are supposed to have a pressure of 3,000 plus or minus 200. We have a multiplier of 10 here, 2,410, 2,450, which is below the required. Maybe I've done something wrong, maybe it's a setting difference, I don't know. Maybe the manual's wrong, but I haven't so far seen this above the number that I require. The brake accumulator, which is over here, the smaller one, times 1,000, so it's 2,000... it's about 2,800. Now that is in the range, because it says here check 3,000 plus or minus 200, so that is okay. And the brake pressure is 2,700 minimum PSI. The brake pressure is 2,600 and 30, so it's a little bit off, but we can run with it for purposes of the game. I think in a real aircraft, you can probably talk to the engineer and have a chat with them. The warning lights are reset, which we don't need because all the warning lights are basically off. Landing gear indicator is still 4 green, yes. And RMPCD, which is right hand side multifunction display, whatever. Engine, fine, done. To line the INS, and if you play BMS, you will know that the INS takes about 10-15 minutes to align. As a generous move by the creators of the sim, Razbam, the INS is aligned by default. As soon as you put it on the INS align, it will show as OK, which is aligned. Now I put it into nav mode, and I will give you your situation, your heading, your speed, your navigation information, and navigate information. So we'll leave that as it is. Right, so starting engine. That's all the starting engine stuff done. Now before taxi, we need to check the INS align. Yes, IFF, TACAN. So the IFF is a normal. We won't bother now radio stuff because that's not really critical, and I really want to keep this video as concise as possible. Manual fuel switch, it says check. So yeah, manual fuel switch is off as it is. Water switch, which is off. Check then off, so check it is off. That's the water switch. It says H2O, which is water. Trim set, which is neutral. It's fine. Standby instruments. So uncage this, and this you can put your QNH or QFE there if you feel like it, but they all display okay. Vertical speed engage 0, speed 0. It's all fine. Flap initiate, so it's on and auto, so it's happening on and auto. It's 25 degrees, which is fine. So everything's good. Displays. Oops, sorry about that. Cycle through. First recording. There we go. Displays. So let's initialize copper lighting. This and this on my HUD. There we go. Can turn on the instrument lights here. Oh, the instrument light's not working. Console lights. There we go. There we go. All the lights work. So that is all that done. That is that last display done. The last thing is INS check prior. Check is fine. So we're going to do a vertical takeoff today. So what we're going to do is go to the vertical takeoff page, which is here, and go to checklist there. Nozzle rotation speed, we have none, not required. We need to put the STO stop at the bottom of the quadrant, so put the STO stop here, lock it there. Now flaps want to set to stall, which is 62 degrees. That should do automatically. Just fine. I don't know why it's not working now. Reset. Let's have it to. Alright. We'll leave that as it is. This is not really important, but that. In the other video that's working, it said it would say 62, and it did say 62. But put the water on because this plane uses water to cool the engine during vertical takeoff. And we hold the brakes, and then we put this down to 50 degrees. Right, now the flaps will automatically move to 60. There we go. So the flaps are automatically 62 as soon as you engage the vertical thrust. So what you do is we hold the throttle, push the power full, hold it to brake till we get airborne, and then check the water. And then we want to keep the wings level, and we want to be about 50 feet. And then we'll roll off into the distance and put it into the vertical. So there we go. Put the tech parking brakes off. Put our manual brakes. Gently push the power forward. And hover. There we go. We're in the hover. Now, let's dip the nose forward a little bit. Put the gears up. Get some speed. Reduce the power so we don't burn the engine out very gently, otherwise you'll slow down and crash. And we can push this, push it down a little bit. There we go. Keep it under control.
Water.
Okay, and then push forward. There we go. A bit rocky, but
Water.
okay, so push in now so don't overheat the engine with water. Right, and that is the takeoff done. Now you can do the after takeoff checklist yourself, because I think I'm running out of time with this video. But I will come back with more of these higher videos for you guys to enjoy. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. And until next time, I will see you guys later.